Your future is leaking through your thumbs, without your permission. Feel the notification pulse, chest heat, and the urge to strike back. Boldness feels real, but the platform harvests you. No silence means no control over your life. Every reactive comment becomes a brick in your prison. Each insult tests your control before thought returns. Most people fail because society trains them to react like obedience is freedom. The algorithm wants your reaction, but the ancestors demanded your restraint. Ancient life punished that weakness faster than any feed could. Families faced storms, hunger, feud, winter, and reputation without screens. Viking crews carried restraint onto cold water, where panic spread faster than command. Gaegja, an Old Norse verb meaning to be silent or keep quiet, opens a doorway into that discipline. Linguistic meaning begins with quietness, but cultural force grows when silence becomes chosen. This script does not pretend every Viking followed a secret manual called Gaegja. History gives ruins from those who spoke too soon and legends from those who waited. Sources show reputation, insult, oath, patience, vengeance, and restraint. Together, these traces support one grounded point. Norse society respected people who delayed emotion until action mattered. Contemporary society rewards the opposite because platforms profit when people answer quickly and emotionally. Notifications create fake emergencies that steal attention from work, family, duty, and judgment. Outrage media turns citizens into predictable responders by framing events as insults. Algorithms need your reaction, rage, confession, and return. Work culture can confuse availability with loyalty, even when constant access destroys focus. Relationships suffer when a delayed answer gets treated as rejection instead of boundary. Against that pressure, deliberate silence becomes an ancient life choice. Egil Skallagrimsson is remembered through poetry, violence, pride, and restraint. Nanjal's saga shows how insult and pride can feed vengeance across families. Odin, in the Echvamal tradition, prizes measured speech over noise. Such examples do not mean silence always wins. Strategically, these stories show one rule: the wise spend no words too soon. He uses silence to sharpen his blade, but you use words to dull your edge before the fight starts. Before the breakdown, take the 24-hour protocol. For your next argument, do not answer immediately. Copy the message into a note, then write the brutal reply. Delete nothing yet. Walk away for 1 hour. Return and mark every sentence that protects truth, protects pride, or spills anger. Send only what protects truth, solves the problem, or sets a boundary. Should nothing remain, send nothing. Then wait 24 hours before checking whether silence harmed or saved you. Usually, the argument needed ego, not voice. Practice this 3 times and learn self-command. Remember, the ghost of your reputation follows every comment you left. Strangers may know your worst reaction before they meet your real character. Shadow walks into rooms before you do. Now enter the 3 shields of silence. First shield: silence protects information. Unnecessary explanations give others material to study, quote, or weaponize. One trader who revealed desperation lost leverage before bargaining began. Any chieftain who answered every insult let rivals set Hall's pace. Crewmen who complained through fear weakened the bench beside them before landfall. Today, the same pattern appears in screenshots, chats, dating apps, and oversharing. Post every mood, and strangers learn what provokes you. Explain every plan, and competitors know where to interfere. Answer every insult, and the attacker learns your pride. Quietness does not make a person mysterious by magic, it denies free intelligence. Sometimes the strongest reply is no reply. Wait, read that again. Many of you argue with ghosts while real life waits. Second shield: silence regulates emotion. Bodies react before judgment finishes. Anger tightens attention, fear narrows options, and humiliation pushes people toward rash speech. Ancestors near danger could not afford endless reaction because it spent survival energy. Nordic households planned seasons, stored food, maintained alliances, and settled disputes. Seaborne voyages intensified that lesson because the sea punished panic without caring who felt justified. Oars had to move together, ropes had to be handled correctly, and commands had to stay clear. During long crossings, quiet endurance trained men to sit with discomfort rather than spread it. Prior to a raid or armed landing, that endurance could become psychological pressure. Villagers facing disciplined raiders saw weapons and men who mastered fear enough. Unreadability matters because people fear what they cannot easily read. Noise gives opponents clues, while controlled silence forces them to guess. Reality check: when did you last type while your hands shook with anger? Already you lost. Once silence protects your data and heart, the final shield protects your name. Third shield: silence changes status. Loudness can look powerful, but constant loudness often signals dependence on immediate validation. Real authority spends fewer words because it does not beg for attention every minute. In halls, assemblies, markets, ships, farms, and families, reputation depended on whether words matched deeds. Saga scenes often give weight to pauses, insults, measured replies, and delayed vengeance because speech creates obligation. Law assemblies valued public speech, yet that value existed because speech could bind property, kinship, honor, and settlement. Therefore, silence was not automatically noble, but controlled speech was socially meaningful. High-status silence says, "I am not available for your timing." Modern people need that message because almost every system around them tries to rent their nervous system. Apps want attention, managers want access, advertisers want desire, and political machines want anger. Without restraint, a person becomes easy to move. With restraint, a person becomes harder to predict and harder to purchase. Evidence behind this story is practical as well as historical. Anyone can observe that heated replies cause more regret than delayed ones. Observers can see that calm leaders steady rooms faster than panicked leaders. Negotiators, soldiers, doctors, pilots, parents, and emergency workers all rely on pause, assessment, and controlled response. These examples do not prove Vikings had a psychology school, but they explain why Viking conditions rewarded restraint. Ships offer the clearest model. Boats crossing cold water required cooperation under discomfort, and cooperation required emotional discipline. There was little privacy, little room for complaint, and no benefit in dramatizing fear. Crewmates learned each man through behavior, not speeches. Shipboard life made silence useful because it protected morale, saved energy, and kept attention on shared survival. Carry that lesson back to your pocket. Pocket technology is not a longship, but it still tests your discipline under pressure. Comment sections are not battlefields, but they still expose fear, vanity, and weakness. Workplace chat is not a chieftain's hall, but it still reveals who owns your time. Family arguments are not blood feuds, but one reckless sentence can echo for years. Application is clear. Start with messages. Study the hostile text once, then delay the answer until the first emotional surge has passed. Ask whether the reply will solve a problem, protect a boundary, or merely feed a performance. Next, examine social media. Regarding public anger, identify who benefits from your reaction and what evidence you actually have. Unclear answers mean silence is not weakness, it is quality control. Workplaces deserve examination. Immediate replies may feel responsible, but deep work requires protected attention. Firm boundaries, stated calmly, can be stronger than constant frantic availability. After that, examine family conflict. Arguments worsen because people answer tone instead of meaning. Measured pauses can keep one bad sentence from becoming a permanent memory. Being silent is not robotic. Nor is this about pretending pain does not exist. Also, silence must not punish, frighten, or control people you claim to love. Muteness used to isolate a spouse, scare a child, hide abuse, avoid truth, or manipulate loyalty is not strength. Cowardice can wear the mask of restraint, just as rage can wear the mask of honesty. Healthy age has purpose, timing, and accountability. Restraint pauses before action, it does not replace action. When harm needs naming, speech becomes duty. Where someone vulnerable needs defense, silence becomes failure. Whenever truth can prevent damage, withholding it becomes selfish. Over time, these pauses create a different reputation. Others notice who cannot be easily provoked. Witnesses notice who speaks less but lands the point. Allies notice who stays calm when the room turns hot. Rivals notice who guards plans until action makes announcement necessary. Reputation is a modern form of armor. Armor protects relationships from impulsive damage. Focus protects work from scattered attention. Dignity protects the self from public bargaining. Memory protects the mind from being colonized by every passing alarm. Still, armor must not become a wall against love, responsibility, or truth. Discipline means disciplined presence, not emotional exile. Silent repair that never arrives is not wisdom. Quiet judgment that watches carefully, acts fairly, and speaks when needed is dangerous in the best sense. Moral danger threatens chaos, manipulation, and cowardly noise. Recovery names the lost art worth recovering. Stillness is not a fantasy password from a hidden Viking order. Instead, stillness is an old human capacity, holding speech until speech has weight. Present society needs that capacity because attention has become a battlefield. Pause control decides what enters the mind. Speech control decides what leaves the self. Reaction control decides who can rule you. So, practice silence as your ancestors practiced survival, with purpose, patience, and respect for consequence. Let the world scream without making its panic your commander. Permit rivals to guess while you prepare. Make anger pass inspection before it receives your voice. Allow words to return only when they serve judgment, duty, loyalty, courage, or necessary action. Beneath every practical lesson sits a hard warning: ancient models must be handled honestly. Norse society included violence, hierarchy, slavery, exile, hunger, and vengeance. Useful inheritance is not brutality or domination. Rather, it is the disciplined choice to delay speech, measure risk, protect the household, honor the crew, remember the dead, and keep promises under strain. Refuse the cheap modern habit of confusing expression with character. A person may speak constantly and still reveal no courage. Another may speak rarely and make each word carry proof, boundary, memory, intention, and command. Silence is not the absence of power, it is the containment of it. It is the sheath that keeps the blade sharp until the moment it must be drawn. Finally, move with quiet force, not because noise is always wrong, but because power is strongest when it chooses its moment and acts with purpose. Whoever masters his tongue masters his world. By commenting Gaegja, you are not boosting an algorithm. You are marking the moment you stop being its subject. Those willing to take the 24-hour protocol should comment Gaegja below. Leave the digital storm without you. Begin with your phone down, your breath steady, and your next word earned under pressure, while lesser men keep feeding the storm that owns them every day.